Aries, you're overcoming challenges this week, so let's get into your cards. All right, Aries. First, we're going to dive into your main reading, which I pulled before we got started, and then we're going to pull some guidance cards from the Beyond Lemuria Oracle deck. It's super beautiful. That's the artwork on the back of the cards. Anyways, okay, let's get started. So, I can see that you've recently walked away from a connection. This was a relationship where you invested a lot of time and effort into this person, right? And you were doing it because you wanted the long haul with this individual, right? You've invested a lot of energy into them. And it seems like there was some kind of conflict between you two, which caused you to walk away or for them to walk away. Someone walked away from the connection because of this conflict. And it's not like a cheating type of energy, but it's a conflict that has to do with outside individuals. So maybe there was friends that were causing issues in y'all's connection because they were saying certain things that was causing one partner to think another thing, or maybe these were coworkers that were causing issues in the connection because maybe someone was being flirty with them. It's essentially like someone outside of the connection caused internal conflict between the two of you. And there's an energy here of like feeling regretful, missing this connection, because the Five of Cups is crossing your Two of Cups and Seven of Pentacles. So this relationship that you invested in, you're missing. You're reminiscing on, right? You're thinking about it and feeling regretful. And what's interesting though is there seems to be a shift that happens for you. So you've got the Five of Swords and the Six of Wands. So being victorious over fighting and having disagreements with this person, right? Like, and I don't mean like victorious as in like you're always right. I just mean like overcoming the fights and the arguments with this individual, right? Because you choose to stand your ground, you choose to set boundaries, and stand up for what you know is right and what you're passionate about. So, also the Five of Wands, because you've got a couple Wands cards here, and this is just, anyways, the Five of Wands also has to do with like jealousy and competition. So I'm just kind of getting the energy of like maybe setting boundaries for yourself with this other person of like, you can't be jealous of me. You should be happy for me because you love me and want me to succeed. Like, that can happen in connections. Like this person loves you, but then they sit there and get jealous about you succeeding or having more opportunities than them, right? And it comes as a shock. But you are being victorious over these fights and disagreements because you've set that boundary, right? And you've stood up for yourself and what you know is right. So, crossing your Five of Wands and Eight of Cups, so the energy of like, walking away from this kind of discord that was going on, you have the Sun and the Champion of Cups. I do believe that you might receive an apology from this individual, or you give an apology to them, but either way, there's some kind of reconciliation there as far as like communication goes, and it brings in like a new beginning. It brings in clarity. It brings in just like a lighter mindset around this whole situation, right? Like it kind of shifts things when that happens. And then, your overall was the hanged one. And so it's like traditionally like the hanged man, which is a shift in perspective. Excuse me. And I believe that shift in perspective comes when this communication happens. So to me, if you want to be back with this individual, it doesn't look like things went so south that it's not repairable in any kind of way, but there is, either you missing them or them missing, your connection. There is like a missing type of energy there, like even though clearly there were some disagreements, again, it doesn't really seem like anything that's not repairable. So let's get some guidance cards for you. Okay, so you had evolution and fire come out. This is what evolution looks like. I love her artwork. And then this is what fire looks like. Okay. So, evolution. Look for ways that you can flourish in the face of challenge. Tap into your original passion and remember why you choose the path that brought you to where you are now. Break a problem down to its elements and be creative in how you tackle them. Consider how you make it more fun and inspiring. Alternatively, be present and ask how you can learn, grow, and become stronger through what is happening for you. Focus on the aspects of your situation that make it all worth it. Draw on the inner resources that can pull you through. You have the qualities you need to shine, so don't lose sight of the bigger picture. You may be pushed to greater and deeper learnings, and it might be an uncomfortable process, but the strength, growth, and wisdom that come from journeying through the eye of the storm and embodying this knowledge is something no teacher can show you. So it says growth, overcoming challenges, gracefully riding the waves of life, expanding out of a problem, flourishing in the face of a change, thriving in new environments, and being unperturbed. And what's interesting is both of these cards landed on the card that I told you was going to be communication, an apology, right? And so I think, again, when this comes in, that's what brings in that, overcoming of the challenges, right? The growth, the expanding out of the problem. So let's read fire. It says duality, creation, kundalini, the rising phoenix, bringing conflict into harmony, intensity, transformation, the incredibleness of being alive, coalescence, and infinite energy. I didn't give a whole spiel like the one did before. It kind of just talks about the painting that's on the card. But anyways, is essentially again just reinstating that like when this happens, this apology, right? It brings conflict into harmony, right? And it talks about dualities. Like when you're in relationships, there's a lot of duality that happens, right? Because you're in a partnership. You have to learn to coexist and you have to learn to stick through things, right? You can't always just leave a situation behind because it gets rough. But I know that's up to like each individual. But, anyways, so yeah, that's what I have for you this week, Aries. If that message resonates, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I would truly appreciate the support and have an awesome day. Bye, my little mystics.